again. I'm here to share some random random experiences that I had while being pregnant and giving birth that no one really told me about, and that I didn't like read anywhere online. You know, when you read all the information about like what it's like to give birth, what it's like being pregnant, and of course every pregnancy is different. Even in the same person, no pregnancy is the same. So take that into mind. Like I said, this is just my experience. But the first thing I will tell everyone is don't believe the hype. Like, don't believe the hype, one, but do have encouraging people around you that support what you want to do with your birthing and all that whole experience. Make sure you have encouraging people around you, because that will make a world of difference. Because somebody constantly telling you can't do this, or this is hard, and this, you know, something just negative. They may not mean it negative, but it actually is negative. That will change your whole experience. So when I say don't believe the hype, I mean like everything that you hear about, well, the mainstream stuff that you hear about being pregnant and giving birth is like, oh, it's so hard. I was in labor for 16 hours, and just kind of like horror stories of like how bad it is. You know, you never really hear anything really positive about it. Same goes with marriage. It's like when you ask people like how is marriage, they make you not want to get married, which is so weird to me. So don't believe the hype when it comes to it's so bad, is this, is that. Like I said, I know everybody's experience is different, and I can take into account extreme measures, but I think that it's a mind thing. I think a lot of things that we deal with in life are mind things. So if you go into giving birth with a positive experience, with people giving you positive energy, then you will have a better experience, because you won't be already thinking negative, if that makes sense. So when I was pregnant, I was scared because I was hearing all the negative stories. It was, you know, so painful and so hard and all this stuff. And then my midwife suggested me reading a book, and this book was more of a uplifting book, just telling their stories, but they were in a positive light, that were encouraging, saying like, oh yes, painful, but this is how you get through it. You work through it. You kind of, anyway. So what I'm saying is don't believe the hype, because for me, going into it, I was scared. It was my first time. I didn't know what to expect. So I was kind of, you know, on edge. I was kept telling her, I was like, can we, you know, you should my due date is right. I need to push this back another month. I ain't ready. But she was like, it's not that bad. You know, God equipped you, made you, you know, for this, you know, for this reason. Like, not for this reason, but made you to where you can handle it, is what I'm saying. So I was saying have encouraging people, because the hype for me, it wasn't what everybody said it was. To me, I could tell a whole different story of how it went for me. I took too long on that part, but I hope it makes sense to you. So the other thing that no one told me about pregnancy, and that I didn't realize, was that morning sickness doesn't just last in the morning, and it's not just one morning. For me, morning sickness was 3 months of me not being able to drink water or drink juice. If I drank anything, it had to be like the icy or slushy consistency for me to keep it down, that you wouldn't be able to really eat anything, and if you did eat something and you could handle it, it was gonna come right back up anyway. So for 3 months, I struggled with finding things to eat that I could keep down. So no one told me, like I said, morning sickness was horrible. I thought it was just like, you know, one morning you wake up, you throw up, you know that you're pregnant, kind of like on TV. Not the case. Not the case at all. Crackers didn't help. Nausea medication barely helped. So yeah, morning sickness can last a very long time, more like monthly sickness or something like that. Let's see. The other thing, my diet. Before I was pregnant, I was a very picky eater. Like, I didn't eat certain vegetables, even stuff I never tried before. I didn't eat just because, oh, it made me smell bad, or like, I know like certain things now that I eat, like onions. I could not stand onions before I was pregnant. I could not stand mushrooms. I could not stand peppers. I was I can eat greens, cornbread. I couldn't eat, anyway, a lot of stuff. But when I got pregnant, and it's lasted since I've given birth, I eat pretty much whatever. Like, I love mushrooms now. I love onions. I love a more wider selection and variety of things that are healthy. And before I was pregnant, I also ate more fast food. But then while I was pregnant, I pretty much was like, fast food is horrible, it's yucky, and blah, blah, blah. So since then, I really haven't eaten any fast food. I barely eat out, like, at restaurants. It's more now cooking and healthy eating. So I do appreciate my pregnancy for that, because when I tried some of these vegetables, like green peppers and onions and mushrooms and some other stuff, I was like, I was missing out, like, for real. But I'm definitely happy about the diet change. Let's see what else. Let's see. During pregnancy, I guess your hormones in your body is changing. So for me, my nipples became like desensitized. Like, I didn't have feeling in them. Like I could feel them, like they were painful to, like, if you touch them the wrong way or something. But, you know, like, getting your nipple sucked as far as pleasure, that was not the case. Like, it didn't hurt to have them, like, sucked or anything, but it was like I didn't feel anything. It didn't do anything, like a turn on or anything. I thought it was weird, but the nipples did become extra sensitive to, like, a bra touching them and stuff like that, but they became desensitized to pleasure during my pregnancy. But after, even with me breastfeeding, like, for pleasure, that the sensation did return. But during, I thought that was weird that it kind of went away. So another thing during pregnancy is that most people say that your hair grows during pregnancy, and then you have a lot of it fall out after pregnancy. For me, I really noticed that my hair grew a lot. It pretty much stayed the same length. For me, I feel like my hair didn't grow at all. And some people say, oh, maybe it thickened up then. My hair didn't thicken up. Excuse me. It didn't thicken up, and it didn't grow longer. I think my hair did not grow at all. Like, honestly, like, nowhere on my body. Like, you know, I know how often I would shave my legs and shave, like, my underarms and stuff like that. But when I was pregnant, I shaved, like, maybe 2 times the whole 9 months. And it was still, like, very, very scarce. Like, my leg hairs did not grow. My underarms did not grow. And I normally shave my underarms, like, every, 3 days, because it grows back so fast. During pregnancy, nothing. And then, like, the vagina area, it was like, I need to get waxed or nothing. I was, like, loving, that part. But I was expecting to have that nice hair growth, and then to keep, some length, and then, of course, some may fall out. But it didn't do that. But I did notice, someone told me that maybe my edges coming out was not just from me, like, manipulating my hair, that it was maybe due to the pregnancy, that maybe I just still lost some hair, even though I didn't gain any hair. So that could be another thing that happened, that it fell out even though it didn't grow. And then I think the last thing that I have for you guys is my stomach. Now, you can see that I'm like brown skinned. My stomach is the same color, and it was the same color during pregnancy. Then after I gave birth and I looked in the mirror for the first time, you know, I was trying to put my clothes on. After, I was like, why is my stomach black? Like, my stomach, it was the color like of my hair, with the rest of my body being this color. I was like, is that normal? I was freaking out. I was like, if this is what I'm stuck with for the rest of my life, I was like, I'm never wearing a swimsuit again, because my stomach was like jet black. Like, I was so terrified. I called my mom in the room. I was like, what's going on? I was like, I didn't have no scratch marks, and I used cocoa butter the whole time, so I don't understand what happened. But she basically told me that when your skin is stretched out, you know, with the belly and stuff, and it goes back in, it kind of all jumbles up so it looks darker. But like I said, I wasn't expecting that because nobody told me. I never read that anywhere. So that was a big shocker for me. When I looked in the mirror, I was like, so, but it did go back to its normal color. I'm not sure how long it took. I don't think it was that long. Pretty much when you lose your, I guess, like your baby, whatever, it goes back to normal. So yeah, so I think this video is pretty long because I kind of elaborated a lot, but those are the things that I came up with that I could think of, like off the top of my head, that were like random things that happened that I didn't expect to happen. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it kind of helped a little bit. Anyway, talk to you guys later.